Charmaine, and my guest today is a television journalist working for ABC News as a New York-based correspondent. She has been dubbed the next Diane Sawyer by Marie Claire magazine, and she's here today to talk about her new book, THINSpired. I want you to help me welcome MARA SCHIAVOCAMPO to the show. Did I do good?
You nailed it. You said it perfectly. How are you?
I am wonderful, and welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you on the show today.
Thank you. It's really good to be here.
Now, we can have you on the show because it's great because people have kicked off their New Year's resolutions, and one of their New Year's resolutions is to lose some weight, battling that bulge, and you have a book that can actually help them do that. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. And you know, it's funny because I started this journey in January 3 years ago. Now, it wasn't because of a New Year's resolution. It was because my daughter was born at the end of December. But just because you start something in January, you know, people think, oh, I'm going to fall off the wagon. Resolutions don't work. They can work. So I'm here to say that they can work.
Now, see, Mara, you have covered every major news event of the last 5 years. I'm talking about including Occupy Wall Street, a protest, the Gulf oil spill, Haitian earthquake, even presidential elections. I wanted to know from the beginning, what inspired you first to even become a journalist?
That's a terrific question. You know, I really wanted to be a writer. I wanted a job that would allow me to write, and I was also really interested in travel and the world, and so journalism seemed like the perfect fit to combine those two passions of mine. So that's really what led me here.
And through that, God has blessed you to be able to battle weight loss, because many of us are battling that. I just had a baby 11 months ago.
Oh, congratulations.
My third baby, and battling not only just, you know, the sugars and the carbs. You were a woman that was able to conquer it, and you have a new book now, as we're going to talk about, THINSpired. Tell us about the book and your journey to conquer weight loss.
Yeah, you know, this has been an issue for me my whole life. I was a chubby child, and I had a family member who didn't handle it well. So I was forced to diet. I was forced to, weigh myself publicly. I was punished if I would gain weight. You know, it was just a really unpleasant reality for most of my childhood, and that led to a lot of really serious food issues in adulthood. So I would abuse food. I mean, I abused food for most of my adult life. I would have really terrible binges. I had an eating disorder for a period of time that led to a really terrible depression. And even when things weren't quite that dire, they still weren't great. You know, I didn't have a great relationship with food, and I was overweight, and I was not happy about it. So when you say, you know, God bless me with the ability to kind of take back my health, that's exactly how I view it. I view it as a tremendous blessing, because it's such an unexpected gift for someone who has struggled with this for so long. And the way that I was able to get here was solely through my faith, because I read a book that talked a lot about the power of prayer. It's called The Circle Maker by a pastor named Mark Batterson. And one of the things that it talked about was the importance of fasting and discipline, and how fasting is a form of prayer. And that really struck a chord with me, because I realized I was abusing a lot of foods. And so I embarked on a 40-day fast of the foods that I was abusing. And after that 40 days, I essentially had kicked the habit. And once I had done that, losing the weight became easy. So this, to me, is completely a spiritual journey.
Now, I'm glad you said that, because many churches are right now in the middle of a 21-day fast or a 40-day fast, because many start in the month of January. My church is beginning tomorrow. This is a great time to even start. I like how you said fasting from the foods that you are abusing, because many of us, we live to eat. We don't eat to live. It's the other way around. You know,
right, absolutely.
Because we love food. And I love how you put that. I just wrote that down. Fasting from the foods that you abuse. Because I abuse a lot. Lay's potato chips. I abuse sodas.
Right. Well, the thing is, you know, everybody has their list. Or I can't say everybody. Some people don't have issues with food, and God bless them. But a lot of us have issues with food, and we have a list. I think if you're honest with yourself, if you're someone who struggles with your weight and you're honest with yourself, you will see there is a very small number of things that are standing in your way. And what I mean by that is, my list is flour products, dairy, candy, and wine. Now, the wine, I don't have a problem with wine, but I added that because it was really interfering with my weight loss efforts, because when you're with friends, you can easily drink a bottle or two of wine, and that is just empty calories. So I got rid of the wine too. But my point is that flour, dairy, and candy. Those are three things. And those three things were standing in my way of happiness. So whatever your things are, whether it's potato chips, French fries, cheese, be honest with yourself about it and get rid of them, because they are the things that are blocking your joy. And the other thing that really has struck me being on the other side of this journey is that, you know, honoring my body by giving it really good food, you know, healthy, fresh food, and by exercising and connecting with what I need, sleeping when I'm tired instead of just eating a bunch of junk food. Those things honor God, because my body is God's creation. Mm-hmm. And I have felt much closer to God in honoring him in that way. There is something very, very powerful about the times when we abuse our body and when we honor our bodies. And one brings us closer to God and one brings us farther away. So for me, reclaiming my health has also brought me closer to God.
And you look fabulous.
Thank you. Well, that's a great byproduct. You know, buying a size 6 jeans, that doesn't hurt.
It's so funny. I did a vlog, and I was talking about how our church is going to be doing a consecration, and you know, you get closer to God, but then you have some wonderful benefits of, you know, going down a couple of dress sizes on top of it. So it does not hurt.
Yes, I'm not all high-minded and spiritual all the time. I certainly get a kick out of buying smaller clothes, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm making a comeback, as I said. I'm making a comeback. I'm going to go back to my 6s, because I'm in a 16. I'm going back to my 6s.
Yes, you are. Well, it's a journey. You know, it's such a journey. And so what I have found is that so many people share this struggle. And I carried so much shame about it for my entire life. I kept it to myself. I didn't talk about it. I was ashamed of it. And you know what occurred to me? The devil is a liar. He was telling me that I had something to be ashamed of. I had nothing to be ashamed of. I was trying to cope with life's stresses, and I went about it in a counterproductive way, but that's not shameful. And so the more I've talked about it, the more it has freed me, and so many people can relate, because even people who aren't heavy, in many cases, are still abusing food. Mm-hmm. And so I've just heard from all kinds of people about how they can relate to this struggle and how I've been able to help them through sharing my story.
Now, how can people, I know you have to go, but how can people handle those food cravings? Because once you decide to eliminate them from your diet, your body gets to calling for them, you know.
Yes,
so how did you handle that?
You know, I believe for some people, and that includes me, food is a drug. And I mean that in a very literal way. So when you are trying to eliminate certain foods, it's not a diet. It's not a, you know, whatever latest diet craze it is. You are actually in the process of detoxing from your drug. It is extremely difficult. It was one of the hardest things I have ever done. And I say that not to discourage people, but to prepare them for a challenge. Because if you were to put a bikini on and go out into a blizzard, you wouldn't stand outside for very long. When you go into a blizzard, you have to be prepared with your boots and your parka and your hat and your gloves. And it's the same thing with this challenge. You have to be prepared for it. And the only thing that allowed me to make it through the excruciating agony of giving up my drug was the vow that I made to God. I did not ask God for help. I made a vow to him to abstain from those things for a period of 40 days. And I didn't want to disappoint God. I didn't want to let him down. And I also fear God. And so when I made him a vow, I was determined to keep it. And that is the only thing that allowed me to keep it.
You better preach. We didn't heard a sermon today from Miss Mara. Keep the vow that you make. That is great. Where can people go and purchase the book?
You know, it's everywhere books are sold. So you can get it online at Amazon.com. You can get it at Barnes & Noble. Also, a lot of independent bookstores around the country are supporting it. You can pretty much get it anywhere where you can buy books. And I appreciate the support from people so much. People have emailed me. They're messaging me on Facebook. And I love to hear your stories. So please reach out. And I hope that my story can help you.
Well, I'm so thankful that you came on the show today to share with us and to help us begin our 2015 to be THINSpired. And you are such an inspiration because you've done it and you let us all know that we can do it too. So thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you too. And congratulations again on the baby. They're such a joy.
You are so welcome, and have a great day and have a blessed day.
Okay. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.